Ladies and gentlemen, let's just cut to the chase because we are all chomping at the bit to talk about some football today. Episode 72 in the huddle coming at you live. I am Kenny C. Alongside me, per usual, is the real Leel, Cam Jones, and Zach Crow. My guys, another week is in the books. It's flying by.
Listen, man, it's flying by. And, we had how can I say it, a bit of a week with everything that was going on with obviously the presidential election. America got to find out who was going to be president a week later. So everybody is amped up. Everybody had a lot of like, oh, what's going on? I'm pretty sure there was a lot of debates within family and friends. I know on my side, I was debating family members throughout the whole week. So it was good to get on a show like this and just strictly talk about football and put the politics to the side. There's no politics being discussed here on this show. Just straight football, something that you could talk about with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, my man. It's been another great week in the NFL. I feel like yesterday they did a really good job spreading out the schedule. There were 3 really good games at 4 o'clock, some good 1 o'clock games as well. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking about it with you guys today, per usual.
Hey, man, I just want to say, thank you guys for having me on episode 72. Just want to say yesterday was a great game of football. Yesterday the games was either close, very close, either by a touchdown or less. Can't wait to talk more football tonight, gentlemen. Let's get it.
All right, fellas, we're going to kick this thing off with the first topic here. The New Orleans Saints dominated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night on Sunday Night Football, 38-3. Let's break it down.
All right, I'm gonna start us off here, man. And normally when Tom Brady loses a game, or let's say the Bucs lose a game, I gotta play daggone defense attorney. I gotta be over here. He didn't commit the crime, even though it was all obvious. He didn't commit the crime. I gotta lie my best, but I'm here to say in front of the judge, the brother committed the crime. The Buccaneers looked like straight trash last night. I gotta keep it real. 38-3. You have to be ashamed of yourselves. The Buccaneers in particular and Buccaneers fans. I got a lot of bring that ass here, boys, that's going to come up here. Shout out to my guy, DC Young Fly, who came up with the idea. I'm just carrying on it in my different way. But before I even get to that, I just want to say, Bruce Arians, you're up. Bring that ass here, boy. I don't know what's going on with the play calling, but that was a terrible, terrible play call, all right? Only 5 runs. Right? And then I don't understand what the identity is on the offense. There was no identity whatsoever. No second half or even mid-game adjustments. You're down 21-0. All right, scratch that playbook. Throw it in the daggone blender. And let's have another playbook to remember. Run something else. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Jamal Dean, bring your ass here, boy. Every time they go up against the Saints, Jamal Dean he's like he can't read the coverage. He's always getting burnt like burnt toast on a daggone grill. He literally left, I think it was Traquan Smith wide open in the end zone when Drew Brees hit him right there. Just, whoop, I'm going to catch it. Wide open. Who else? I got to come at here. The offensive line was despicable. Obviously, with the loss of Ali Marpet, a Pro Bowl offensive line, that was bound to happen. They just look like trash. And the last thing I'm going to say before I let y'all fellas get into it is that should we be worried about the Buccaneers? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that we're probably not going to win this division. I think that's more than evident after last night. And the Saints, that's their division. That's been their division for the last couple of years. And it's going to remain that way. But those losses that we do have came against teams with great defensive lines that can generate pressure. The Bears, the Saints, and the Saints. The Saints is our kryptonite. Other than that, I feel like we could be a good team that could beat a lot of, teams in the NFC. I think we could beat the Packers. I don't think they match up well because they cannot create pressure with the defensive line. Seattle's the same way. So I think we're going to be fine. It's just that we don't want to see the Saints.
Yeah, Will, I think you brought up a lot of really good points there. I have to agree with mostly everything you said. The first culprit I'll say is it's Bruce Arians. I don't know what that game plan was last night. That was absolutely despicable. And to be honest, when I look at it, historically, I think a lot of football fans all share a pretty similar opinion on Bruce Arians that, he's a cancer survivor, great coach, very well liked around the league. But at the same time, last night, I kind of saw why historically his teams fall a little short. I don't know what he was doing, burning his challenge in the first quarter, challenging a spot of the ball play when those never get overturned when there's not enough evidence. There was no shot they were going to overturn that. Also, you're right. Why did they commit to the run? I think we all know, even though Tom Brady is Tom Brady, he's the GOAT, we all get it. But this is 2020, and Tom Brady's 43 years old. He can't be throwing the ball 50 times. That's not a recipe to win. And especially when you're the Buccaneers, I understand your offensive line was banged up. I get it. But the fact that you couldn't run the ball at all against the Saints, that's a problem. Also, the Saints defense as a whole, I understand they have the names, but let's face it, they haven't been good at all this season, and the Buccaneers couldn't generate anything against them. As far as what you said, should we be worried about the Bucs, Lil? I got to be honest with you, bro. Kenny C and I were talking about it a little bit last night. When I look at the NFC right now, bro, I have no idea who the best two teams are. I couldn't tell you. One game, the Bucs look sick. Another game, they look awful like last night. The same thing could be said about the Packers. The same thing could be said about the Saints. I know they're going to be people's trendy pick now, but this was their best win of the season, and I want to see a little more. But they do deserve credit. And to be honest, the Bucs, man, I don't want to say it's a bad matchup because usually when it's 38-3, you can't say that. So that was just a despicable effort. And for me, the number one culprit is the coach. I don't care what happened. You just can't have your team coming out to play like that. It can't happen.
Now, one thing that Zach said that I really liked was the fact that, this NFC is completely up for grabs. There's no more the Bucs are the number one clear-cut team to come out of the NFC. You really don't know who the hell is going to come out of the NFC, whether it's Seattle, whether it's the Packers, whether it's the Bucs, the Saints. I mean, there's too many good teams that are keeping it competitive. Even, I'm not saying the Panthers will, but the Panthers have been making games competitive. And obviously CMC is back. So the NFC,
Joey Sly's kick had the distance yesterday.
That was bad.
If that's accurate, they win that game.
But to this game, man, I mean, Arians, no doubt, horrible play calling. I mean, the fact that you had 4 or 5 runs throughout the whole game is a clear-cut problem. But let's give some credit to this Saints pass rush. Cameron Jordan, Onyemata, Davenport, they held their own. I mean, that one pick against Brady, whereas practically playing. What'd you say?
No, I'm saying they supposed to. We all know the Saints defensive line.
But I'm saying for a Bucs offensive line,
play better.
Obviously they're missing Marpet, but the fact that the pass rush was able to be on the money for a secondary that's looked lackluster at best this whole year, with Janoris Jenkins being pretty much the only consistent player in that secondary, the pass rush allowed the secondary to become pretty much lockdown. So I'm giving credit to them because they sacked Brady 3 times. I think they had 6 or 7 quarterback hits. They were in Brady's face all night. And if there's one thing I always say and that everyone knows, if you provide pressure on Brady, he becomes practically ineffective. The weapons were there, but there was no time for him. Obviously, Brady gets the ball out one of the fastest in the NFL, and it's been that way for 20-plus years. But if you get good pressure like the Saints did, good things happen. And Drew Brees, for a guy that was pretty much, beat up and beat down by everybody for this whole year, surely had a bounce back game, 4 touchdowns. He looked on the money with most of those. And I don't know what the hell, this is another coaching thing here. I don't know what the hell the Bucs were doing playing zone for practically the entire game. Me and Zach were talking about that last night. You're letting Brees, you're playing zone, but Brees isn't a deep threat quarterback like that, especially not now. Yeah. So you pretty much surrendered 8-9 yards each play, and he's going to beat you with the short throws down the field, and that's what happened. But all in all, man, I mean, yeah, Leel, the Saints have their number, but you never know come playoff time. You really never know.
Well, gentlemen, I must say, man, we all are on the same page on this. I'm just shocked that the Saints blew out the Bucs. I really thought this game was going to be pretty close for the most part, but I was wrong. The final score was 38-3. I'm shocked Brady threw 3 picks with no touchdowns in the game. This is the first time since 2011 Brady threw 3 picks in one game. I just felt like the Saints had more time of possession than the Bucs. The Saints had the ball for 40 minutes out the game, and the Bucs only had the ball for 20 minutes, so the ratio was pretty unbalanced for the most part. And total yards, the Saints had 420 total yards of offense, and the Bucs only had 194, barely 200 total yards of offense. So that's just terrible. But just like you guys said, I was questioning Bruce Aaron play calling yesterday. It didn't make no sense at all. I was like, what are you calling? What's the identity? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to create? I ain't seen nothing like that at all. But to be honest with you, I'm not worried at all about this Bucs team. I believe regular season and playoff is two different things. You know, regular season, anybody can win a game. But playoff time, we'll see every team true colors. So I'm not worried at all.
Yeah,
I would say this real quickly, Zach. Let me cut in here. I would say this. Kenny C, I know we have to give a certain amount of credit to the team that won the game. I always think there should be a certain amount of credit that you give to the team that won because they won the game. But when you look at the Buccaneers, it's plain and simple. Bruce Arians got out coached. Sean Payton did a good job of letting Drew Brees, spread the wealth and get the ball out of his hands and move into the pocket and let the ball go. The Bucs were bringing pressure. Drew Brees, the offense was just set up for him to be able to get the ball out of his hands. It wasn't like that for Brady on his side, trying to force the ball to Antonio Brown. This is Antonio Brown's first game. Why is he playing 30 snaps? All right, why is he playing 30 snaps when you still got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Mike Evans was open in some routes, and Tom Brady did not throw him the ball. So they have to do a better job. I believe a lot of that is play calling and to get Mike Evans the ball, because Mike Evans is a guy who got all the balls from Jameis Winston. Hell, Jameis Winston would throw it in double coverage, triple coverage sometimes on the Mike Evans. Mike Evans is going to want his touches. And my biggest fear, being a Tom Brady guy, is that Mike Evans is going to be like, you know what? I had it. I had enough. All right, I want out, or you need to give me the ball, because receivers are the most diva positions in the league.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, a couple quick points. Number one, I think, Lil, that was a big concern for me when they brought in Antonio Brown, That was kind of like, did they really need to do that? And I think last night when Antonio Brown gets a first down and the scoreboard says 31-0, and he's out here dropping the ball in his celebration because he got a 10-yard gain on a first down, not a great start to your Tampa Bay career, buddy. But anyway, when we look at the game last night, a couple other points I wanted to bring up. Number one, I'm not trying to, hate on Bruce Arians. Like, we've all done our fair share. But one other thing I wanted to bring up here is, as Will said, you don't have to give the ball to Antonio Brown. You don't have to give the ball to Gronk. If you're Tom Brady, if you're Bruce Arians, you have to tell Tom Brady, you have to just get the ball to who's open. Not only are they not using Mike Evans enough, where's Leonard Fournette? The Bucs can't run the ball. And Ronald Jones doesn't look good at all right now. And they brought in Fournette for a reason, and he doesn't get the ball at all right now. And I'll, compliment Sean Payton. Kenny C, you remember earlier this season when the Saints were taking on your Packers, very similar situation to last night, a Sunday night football game. And your Packers actually ended up winning that game. And the game turned when Sean Payton and the Saints, they had a great drive going. They were driving towards the red zone. And on a 3rd and 5, I believe, Drew Brees gave a handoff to Taysom Hill. He fumbled the ball. The Packers took over, won the game, and the rest is history. I'll give Sean Payton credit. He actually used Taysom Hill the right way last night, and that is, if you want to pass it once or twice with him, that's fine. But for the rest of the game, just run the ball with him. If you want to use him in the red zone, that's fine. But if Drew Brees is in rhythm, don't take him out of that rhythm with Taysom Hill, and they didn't do that last night.
Payton flat out, from a coaching standpoint, clearly had the far superior coaching ability last night. I mean, that play call was dynamic. Brees was getting the ball out to 12 different wide receivers, spreading the wealth, like Leel said. Those 3-and-outs, man, 5 quick 3-and-outs. Those are the quickest 3-and-outs I've probably ever seen Brady have in a first half. Like 5 3-and-outs and then the 2 picks. Like, I was stunned at halftime that
I would say
they picked up like maybe 1 or 2 first downs.
I would say
that's crazy.
Go ahead, Zach.
I don't know about you guys, but Will, I'm sure you remember this game. At halftime of the game, when I believe the scoreboard read, what was it, 28-31 nothing at half?
Yeah.
And the announcer said that in Tom Brady's career, he has came back from a 24-point deficit against the Broncos. It was a Sunday night game, 2013 in New England, I believe. And it's funny because I remember that game vividly. And last night, man, like I'm with Kenny C. I was kind of like, bro, this game's over. I just never got the vibe that the Bucs were going to come back.
I knew once they was up when the Saints was up 7-0, and the Saints was driving, and then I believe it was I think Jared Cook, he fumbled the ball in the red zone. I said, all right, the Buccaneers, this is your opportunity to get back in the game. Once they went 3-and-out after that, and I saw the Saints drive again, I was like, this game is over. Because right there showed me all I need to know about the coaching.
On 3rd down of that drive, what happened? Brady just hit Gronk and clear drop. Gronk is not the same player, man. He
also overthrew Gronk on one of those drives, and I was just like, wow, like
it wasn't Brady's
this is just total mayhem for the Bucs.
It wasn't Brady's best performance either But I think we prone to expect that. Listen, Tom Brady is the GOAT. We all know it. But when you bring pressure, let's not act like we believe Tom Brady is the GOAT with pressure. When there's pressure, he's a below-average quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
When there's no pressure, he's a Super Bowl winner. He could pick apart a defense when you give him time. So let's not be surprised at those interceptions. 2 of it wasn't his fault. One was batted into the defender's
One was like
hands.
volleyball.
Another one, exactly. Another one was a miscommunication. And one that was just flat out, it was a pass that he underthrew.
Brady flushed out.
When he tried to throw to Antonio Brown down the field, it was like 4 yards short.
Right.
That was on Brady as well. So, listen, all in all, this was a terrible game for the Buccaneers, but they have to make a statement next week going up against the Panthers.
Absolutely.
Your initial thoughts on the loss and the way the game went?
Yeah, I got to give them a lot of credit. They came in and created a takeaway early. Big points there, and they're playing good, playing physical. Had a rookie quarterback who protected the ball, didn't turn it over one time, and had some bad calls late on 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, turned us over, and they got it done, and we didn't.
To the duel in the desert yesterday, the Dolphins took down the Arizona Cardinals 34-31 in a close win. Tua Tagovailoa gets his first win and the game-ending first down dive at the end. Let's give our takeaways and reactions.
Man, guys, I saw that game live yesterday. I must say, though, I was, last week we saw Tua. Tua really didn't do much because, the defense outshined the Rams offense last week. But in my opinion, yesterday, I believe Tua was a good game manager. I believe, he made all the right throws, to his receivers yesterday. He didn't force nothing in. If you feel like, there was nothing there, he'll either throw the ball away or pretty much just take the sack. I was pretty impressed, he was pretty mobile yesterday. Because, mind you guys, he hurt his hip, last November against Mississippi State. And the way that I saw him moving, getting the first down, running for the first down, I was like, wow, he still could move. I was pretty impressed. He was, 20 of 28 for 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. So the biggest takeaway for me, for him, controlling the game and not making any turnovers. So that was my biggest takeaway from yesterday's game.
Can you see?
Yeah, and for me, man, this game came down to which defense can make a damn stop. And in the end, the Dolphins defense, which is superior to the Cardinals, I'd say, and has been playing great this season, they made those 2 critical 3-and-outs, forced Murray to go 3-and-out, and then Tua just sat on the ball and had the game-winning dive. But, yeah, Tua, man, there's a couple things here. One, the Dolphins have found that quarterback because, it only takes one game to realize a quarterback's true talent, and this guy has the Murray-esque about him. He could do it both. He could beat you with his legs, and he could throw effectively 20 for 28. And like Cam said, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, 35 yards on the ground. And the second thing is it shows that Tua is tough. He's not afraid anymore with his injury past. I know it's one game, but it shows to me that he's tough. He's going to scramble to get those extra yards. He's going to slide when he needs to. Slides looks like he was sliding like a pro out there. Oh, yeah. And, even with Preston Williams, who's been a huge come up for the Dolphins this year at wide receiver, even though he went down in the second half, Tua had no problem finding other receivers and making it work. My biggest takeaway from this game is that if Tua continues to play like he did yesterday, I could see this team making the playoffs with the defense that they have. I think they can possibly win the division and make the playoffs, if not as a wild card.
Okay, Kenny, see you speak facts today. Okay.
I would say this. My biggest takeaway from this game is that I can see both Tua and both Kyler leading their respective teams to a playoff berth. I don't think both guys are going to lead their team to a division win. I still like the Bills and I still like the Seahawks. But I do believe with that extra playoff spot, I don't think the Cardinals will need that last playoff spot. I still think they will get in as a, middle of the pack seed. But I still think both guys will lead their team to a playoff berth. Starting with Tua, because this was a bigger catalog in this game for me to judge compared to the first game when he only threw for 93 yards because he didn't have to. He didn't have to throw for that many yards because the defense did the job. In this game, going up against Kyler Murray, you needed to make plays, and that's exactly what Tua Tagovailoa did. His biggest attribute, in my opinion, other than the accuracy that you may say is his best attribute, is his pocket presence. There was a play where in second and 4, All signs pointed to a sack, and he just made something out of it and ran for a 17-yard run. I mean, he made Houdini look like a daggone genie, literally. All right, and just the magic in that plays. The balls was accurate. He was getting the ball out very quickly. He was reading the defense as well. I like that throw that he made to Preston Williams, a 40-yard pass. Obviously, that four-quarter drive with the 11-minute mark when he capped it off with a touchdown. I thought that was a very good drive for Tua. But also you have Kyler Murray, who obviously is doing it all. I was a tad bit more impressed with Kyler Murray's performance than Tua, simply because the Dolphins' defense is a good defense that gave quarterbacks trouble the last couple of games. So it just further solidifies my stance on Kyler Murray and where he stands in the MVP race in my list personally, and I actually have him moving up because he's the definition of valuable to me.
Yeah, very good takeaways all across the board. I think this game says a lot about both teams. The first thing I'll say is this. I don't know about you guys, but that was probably one of the 2 or 3 most fun games I've watched this whole season. That was a phenomenal game. I think both teams played well. But at the same time, I do have a couple takeaways. Number one, you guys know, I love the Miami Dolphins. Even before this week, I picked them to beat the Rams last week, but I didn't even pick them to win this game. I picked my Cardinals to win, and unfortunately, that same defense that I was really hyping up the last couple of weeks, even without Chandler Jones, it kind of let me down. I kind of look at this game, bro, and I say, you know what? Okay, credit to Miami. They won. Brian Flores, great job. He's an elite coach. But at the same time, I'm kind of worried about Arizona because this is now the 3rd bad loss this season they've had. They lost to Carolina, who's not very good. I know they played well against Kansas City, but you got to find a way to win that game if you're a Super Bowl contender.
Carolina's not a bad team.
Okay, but
not a bad team.
They're okay. They're okay. They're still like
I get it. I get it, but that's fine. But if you're a Super Bowl contender, that's a game you have to win, let alone you can't get blown out.
Kansas City almost lost yesterday, so
but
at home, and
I also wouldn't say the Cards are like a Super Bowl contender yet. They're playoff caliber.
Wait, hold on.
Mind you, there's down 2 guys on defense yesterday.
But we just talked about how bad the NFC is, and we don't know a true team. So how are we saying they're not in that mix?
Wait. Whoever said the NFC was bad, I just said it was unpredictable.
I mean unpredictable. That's what I meant. Yeah. Unpredictable. Not bad, but unpredictable.
So basically what I'm saying is yesterday's loss by Arizona basically showed me that they're not in that tier with Seattle, with Green Bay, with Tampa Bay, because if you're a legitimate Super Bowl contender, that game yesterday and the game against Carolina and the game against Detroit, you need to find a way to win. And
I mean, granted, you know, Gonzalez, the kick looked good.
But here's the thing.
Fell short. I mean, that was just.
Here's the thing, though. I don't like.
It's a heartbreak.
I think every week when we discuss these games, this is a lot of times where we kind of disagree a little bit. Is like you could bring me the specific examples all you want. Oh, the kick was short, and you're right. Most times he should have made that kick. But at the same time, I'm saying the game shouldn't even have been close, man. Arizona.
But didn't you pick the Dolphins?
No,
that's what I'm saying. Didn't you pick the Dolphins to win the AFC East?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dolphins too.
Hold on.
You can't discredit the
I'll
Dolphins.
explain. I picked the Cardinals to win yesterday, and the Dolphins proved me. The Dolphins got the job done. And all I'm saying is this: Arizona, right? So if the game was close and the Cardinals won, if they would have found a way to win by a field goal, I would have been like, you know what, you got kind of how you're reacting right now. I'm kind of like, you know what, okay, I get it. The Cardinals, kind of like the Steelers yesterday. We're going to get into them a little bit. It was not their best performance, but they still found a way to win yesterday.
A couple weeks ago, you and I were like the fan favorites for the Cardinals.
Okay, but honestly,
now you've left me.
But
now you jump ship.
You've left me alone.
See, here's the thing.
You left me.
Exactly. You're right. And for me, that's
for
why
somebody else now.
That's kind of why I'm confident in the pick, because for me, there's 16 games, right? Every game means so much. And, I'm not as down. Like if I was, if everyone says recency bias, everyone would say, why didn't you rip on the Buccaneers? You guys saw Leel. I was like, you know what? They just played bad. I'm not too worried about Tampa Bay. They're right in that mix. There's a very good chance they represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. But Arizona, this is now the 3rd game this season that they've looked pedestrian in a spot that they should win. And for me, that's a red flag.
And keep this energy going. Let's get into this next topic here, fellas.
Listen, we go through, we vet everything out. We talked about it. I think as a staff, we have great communication during the week, and we want to be responsible in what we're doing. but also know how we want to try and win each game. So I really thought we did a good job establishing the line of scrimmage a week ago in the run game, and then this week we just felt like the right recipe, the right formula was to go at them through the air a little bit there. So, and I think you saw the fruits of that. So, again, credit to the offensive line, giving Josh time to throw. And Josh played a heck of a game. He was under pressure at times, was able to escape, was smart with the football. Listen, Josh was emotional. He as you probably heard, lost his grandmother last night, and it was a big win and a great thing for him to play like he played. Just a mentally tough young man.
The Bills defeated the Seahawks 44-34. Should we be more impressed with the Bills in that victory, or should we be more disappointed in the Seattle Seahawks? Zach, take us away.
Well, you guys know, if you've listened to this show since the beginning, you guys know exactly where I stand on this. I'll give Josh Allen a lot of credit. I first want to say I know his grandmother passed away, and he must have made her feel real proud yesterday, so great job by him. But at the same time, I give a lot of that victory by Buffalo to their coaching and their scheming. Sean McDermott's a very good coach. I've made that known to be. And that was Buffalo's. It was a great performance. Josh Allen passing the ball, phenomenal, great job. But at the same time, this is a middle school defense the Seattle Seahawks are running out there. It's an absolute disgrace. I'll give you guys a stat. Yesterday, Josh Allen threw for over 300 yards. He was the 6th quarterback this season to do that against Seattle. You know who else one of them was? That's right, Cam Newton. He doesn't look too good right now. So at the same time, as good as Josh Allen looked yesterday, I don't put any value in the game because if you put up 44 points against Seattle and Cam put up a touchdown against the Jets, okay, what does that show me? Nothing. Get the job done against a good team, and then we'll have a conversation. But Seattle's defense sucks, and Russell Wilson is not going to play that poorly most days. So good job by the Bills, but I still don't buy that. Don't buy them long term, and that game did not change my opinion on them at all.
AC?
Yeah, I think the Bills' defense definitely held their own. I mean,
did they? 34 points?
The Bills' defense, bro, 5 sacks, pressuring Wilson the entire
time. Okay, I get it, but how does
the fumble twice?
Okay, listen, I get it. Wait,
AJ Klein was blown out.
Hold on a second. You can give me all the stats, everything you want. All I see when I look at the stat sheet is that the Bills did all of that. They forced the turnovers. They got the sacks. Great job. And even with all of that being said, they still gave up 34 points.
But then what happened? What happened? There's a man by the name of Josh Allen who had a performance similar to Brett Favre when his father died on Monday Night Football and balled the hell out, dropped buckets. Yes, we know Seattle defense is pretty damn bad. And that's why I'm going with the fact that Seattle is overhyped to me. The fact that you have to every single week rely and bank on Russ to cook is not going to get you far and not going to get you a Super Bowl. It's most likely going to get you a divisional round exit. You cannot be relying on Russell Wilson to drop dimes, 60-yard passes on the run, just total dimes, and perform at that level in the playoffs. Yeah, it'll pass you in the regular season, but once it gets playoff time, your defense needs to step the hell up. This is no Legion of Doom. This is Legion of Boom. This is the Legion of Garbage right now. Seattle, outside of Jamal Adams and Wagner, KJ Wright, I know they got a couple names. As a unit, they're playing terrible.
I know you try to come up with something when you try to make a joke. It's like, damn, it's going to come to me within 5 seconds because I don't want to be standing here. That's exactly what that joint just sounded like. Oh, come to me real quickly.
Wright and Wagner both looked washed yesterday. It was bad.
I mean, but that was just an off game for them.
They looked
to me.
Normally they're high caliber.
While you two guys are like against, the Josh Allen hype, I'm gonna be like, I'm pretty impressed with the Buffalo Bills yesterday. Solely because Josh Allen finally won a game against a good team, a playoff team at that. Okay. He was 31 of 38 for a 415, 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. I was pretty, hyped about that, but he was sacked 7 times. But I was more impressed with the Buffalo's defense, sacking Wilson 5 times, creating 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, one in the end zone and another costly interception by I forgot who. But, I believe that, Buffalo defense came to play yesterday. And, it's not Buffalo's defense fault that Russell Wilson come back and drop 34. You know, one thing about Russell Wilson, he could be down 50. I promise to God, he will put up some points just to put his team in the game. So overall, I would say I'm pretty impressed with, Buffalo with their performance yesterday against the Seahawks.
Before you get in here, Zach, I see your mind. Let me just get in here, and I'm going to get my takes. And if you want to go back at Cam, we can do it. We got all the time in the world tonight, Jack. We got all the time. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Josh Allen, bro. Hit the road, Josh Allen. I am more impressed with the Bills than I am disappointed in the Seattle Seahawks because I already knew that defense had the ability to be a liability, okay? I already knew that from 21 Jump Street or make it 22 Jump Street because I'm still waiting for 22 Jump Street to come out. Matter of fact, I think 22 Jump Street came out. 23 Jump Street, okay? Y'all get the point. But anyway, I'm more impressed with the Bills simply because let's not act like this game was close. The score may indicate that it was a 10-point victory for the Bills, but they were getting washed, and the Seahawks started coming back, and Josh Allen didn't fold. He said, all right, I'm having a spectacular day. He made all the right throws, and that was a big thing. The brother played like garbage the last 2 weeks against the Titans, against the Chiefs. So I'm saying, all right, that little hype that we had is going whoop right back down. I know y'all hype wasn't too much high up there, Zach and Cam, but mine was starting to get a little bit past you, and then it came right back to earth. So to see him come and put up 415 yards, mind you, let's not forget last week against the Patriots was a run-heavy game. They ran the ball with Singletary and Zach Moss, and all signs pointed to them running the football again because even the coach, Pete Carroll, said they were shocked that they put the ball in Josh Allen's hand. They had a game plan for them to stop the run, and they said, you know what? Screw that. We ain't going to run the football, even though we have guys that are more than capable. We're going to put the ball in Josh Allen's hands and let him work with them wide receivers, Stephon Diggs, Moss, and a lot of these guys. Brown, should I say? I said Moss, Brown, and Beasley, and make it look easy. And that's exactly what they did on that Seattle defense. I'm impressed with Buffalo.
Come on, Zach. I want that receipt that you want to give me. Go ahead. Let it out.
Yeah, my only question for you guys would be this. When you ask the question, right, am I impressed with Buffalo? To me, right, the way I interpret that question is, did the game yesterday change my opinion on them at all in terms of what they could do in January? Because we know that's what ultimately we're playing for, to win in the playoffs. And Cam, you said it yourself. The reason why you said the reason why I'm impressed with the Bills is because that was the first time they beat a good team. The way I feel about the Bills is that exact sentence, but cross out team with defense, because Seattle's defense is worse than the Jets. It's worse than the Cowboys. I think it's that bad. And I'll give Josh Allen props. He got the job done. But at the same time, if you look at the Buffalo Bills right now, with their quarterback, would yesterday's game change your opinion on, can they go into Kansas City and win in January? Can they go into Pittsburgh and win in January? Even could they go into Tennessee and win in January?
I
think you're looking too far above. The question is based on this game and what we've seen in that victory. Are we more impressed with the Buffalo Bills or more disappointed in Seattle? I don't care about January. I hope we make it to January with the world that we're living in right now, okay? So, look, right now in the present day, I'm more impressed because you talk about how bad Seattle defense is, which is obviously clearly bad. I believe they gave up. I have it in my notes right here if it want to pop out. Secondary is now giving up 362.1. So it's historically bad. But the Titans' defense was bad too, and Josh Allen didn't look like he belonged against that Titans secondary, and he still struggled. So I am impressed that even with a Seattle defense, that he still could put up those numbers because he didn't show it a couple weeks ago.
I mean, dude, I mean, if that's the logic you're going to, use, to be honest, I think you're kind of in the same boat as a lot of Buffalo Bill fans. A lot of Buffalo Bill fans are going to say, oh, yeah, yesterday's game, who cares about January? Yeah, yesterday. I think it's inevitable to all you guys. You guys know the truth. You can't win in January with your quarterback. I don't care what he does against a middle school defense like Seattle. You're really telling me that right now you feel confident in your quarterback and your team going – on the road winning a big game in January? The answer is no. And the reason why you and a lot of other fans are bringing up that excuse is because it's inevitable.
Listen, I am not in the same boat.
Mahomes did it. Remember, Mahomes was down in 3 straight games.
Wait, hold on.
He was down 28-0 against the Texans. Remember that? Yeah, he came back and bust their ass, right?
You're really going to compare Mahomes to Josh Allen? You're really going to compare Mahomes? You're even – that's disrespectful.
Wait. Listen to what we just said. No quarterback cannot win in January. I'm just like, wait. Last time I checked, Mahomes did it. So –
wait, but on what planet are we putting Mahomes in anywhere near Josh Allen? On what planet are we doing that?
I would say this, Zach. You're getting us wild up here. I am not on the same boat with any Bills fans because I am not a Bills fan. You just got to respect the game. Respect the 415 yards. Don't try to throw dirt on that. Respect it. Brother, it's greatness right there. That was a great game.
Wait, I'm not.
And for the first time since the 90s, I believe, the Bills are 7-2. That's something to be celebrating about.
Hold on. Exactly. So my opinion has changed on the Bills, bro. You remember the whole summer. Wait, you were like the whole summer, all of us, the whole summer. I was saying it. Josh Allen is one of the 5 worst pure passers in the league. I'm not saying that now. Like, he's better than that. I'll give the Bills credit for that. I think the Bills are a playoff team. Are they probably going to win the AFC East? Probably. They have a 2-game lead on Miami. They have one more meeting left. It's in Buffalo. So I think right now when I look at the Bills, I think the Dolphins could be better long term. But I'm right. You guys are right. I think I'd give the Bills a 90% chance to win the AFC East, especially given their performance yesterday. So
here we go. That's all we ask, my brother. That's all we ask. That's all we ask.
Exactly. But here's my point, though. This is where we differ. You're going to end there and say, oh, that's the credit they deserve. To me, that means nothing. If Bill fans want to come out here and jump through tables because they won the AFC East for the first time since 1993, congrats, winning the playoffs.
Zach, I would say this, and this is how every team should operate. The first thing is first, win your division, and then you think about the daggone Super Bowl. That's all I'm gonna say. They haven't won a division this whole entire decade, 2 decades. The first thing is first. Don't jump steps. All right. I'm not going to jump off the Empire State Building and land on the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm just not doing that. I'm going to take one step at a time. And that's exactly what they need to do. All right. It's win a division. And once they take care of that, then they move forward and see what they made of.
It didn't move the needle for me, if that makes sense.
Can he see? We might as well move the needle on the show.
Yeah, we got to move the needle here indeed. And Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin said that the quote, Steelers are ready for everybody's best punch after their narrow win against Garrett Gilbert and the Dallas Cowboys, 24-19.
No. Mike Tomlin, don't come in with that bull crap. Bring that ass here, boy. Don't come in with that bull crap. Don't come in with that bull. You're going to be one of everybody's best shot. If this was a shot, that was the Cowboys shot. The Cowboys is doing daggos. You ready for this? You can't block that, brother. Bro, that's the weakest excuse I ever heard in my life. All right, this was a terrible team. Historically, one of the worst defense I have ever seen. You can't even put up points on the first couple of drives. You can't even run the football with James Conner. Decimated defensive line when everybody have been having field days all year, and you mean to tell me we getting everybody's best shot? That's an excuse. I'm not impressed with victories over the Giants. I'm not impressed with victories over the Broncos. I'm not impressed with wins over the Texans. I'm not impressed with wins over the Eagles. I am not impressed by wins over the trash garbage behind Baker Mayfield behind Browns. And I'm not impressed with this Cowboys. I'm not impressed with you having to survive when you already was up in the game against Tennessee and you allowed that and they missed a field goal. I'm not impressed. I'm just not impressed. And the Ravens right there, a team that don't know how to come back from behind when it's a wrap already. I'm not impressed. I'm sorry. They could be 8-0, but ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. I'm not impressed.
And we all now know Leel's take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's not impressed at all with the wins that they've had. I'll say this, man. Defense, undeniably the best unit in the league probably, but the offense, clear red flags in the past couple weeks. Okay. Big Ben, I know his knee got banged up, and it obviously affected him. I mean, you saw he just was hobbling practically. It was like the Rodgers game when Rodgers jacked up his ankle. I mean, you knew he was hurting and he did not play his best football. That offense has to step the hell up, and Big Ben needs to stop playing like Big Burger and start balling out.
Well, I must say, man, Mike Tomlin to humble himself because this is the second half of the season now. So expect the unexpected. I just feel like yesterday's game was a shit show, bro. Like it's the Cowgirls. Like you're supposed to, run the clock on them, put like at least 48 on the clock. The Browns did it. Why can't you guys? But I feel like right now they're about to be in a rude awakening come next week. So for them to, win in a close one like this, I won't be surprised if they lose next weekend.
Okay, I'm going to look at this from many different perspectives. Number one, I agree. The Steelers' coaching game plan yesterday was a problem. And to be honest, even though you guys are out here ripping them and I feel all you guys are pretty heated, I got to be real with you guys. Yesterday's game did not surprise me that much. I expected the Steelers to win, but I expected it to be very close. And you guys are looking at me, you're like, why? I'm a guy of history and trends. Many times throughout the last couple of years, the Steelers they're very popular in Pittsburgh. They're known as Tomlin games. Those are games where the Steelers travel on the road against a team that they're superiorly better than and narrowly win or lose. I remember a couple of years ago, they had a game against the Raiders where Big Ben, he got hurt and the x-ray room was broken. That was a Tomlin game. They were a 2-touchdown favorite and lost that game. So Tomlin games happen a lot. And to be honest, even though I was very high on the Steelers in the preseason, these are the games that worry me. And, they have to be better. You guys are right. If they're going to, go to the Super Bowl, the fact that they're 8-0, and if they want to say they're the best team in the NFL, you guys are right. They have to be better.